Occupiers hung Russian and American flags on their armored vehicle and are heading to storm positions of armed forces of Ukraine. Trump wants fast agreement and could turn up pressure on Ukraine, and how pressure must be put on aggressor, not its victim. The latest news next. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has arrived in the US. During his meeting with President Donald Trump, he pledged to pursue lasting peace and compel Russia to end the war, according to the Ukrainian leader's Telegram channel. President Volodymyr Zelensky stressed that we all want to end this war quickly and reliably, emphasizing that peace must be long-lasting.
Not like years ago, when Ukraine was forced to give up Crimea and part of our east, the Donbass region, and Putin used that simply as a springboard for a new attack. Or when Ukraine was given so-called security guarantees in 1994, which didn't work.
According to Zelensky, Ukraine should not have ceded Crimea to Russia in 2014, just as after 2022, Ukrainians did not give up Kyiv, Odessa or Kharkiv. The world must finally understand. Every compromise with the aggressor becomes a new battlefield. Ukraine already paid for illusions of guarantees and concessions, and it only fueled more aggression. This war is not just about territory, it is about the very principle of international law, the right of nations to exist freely. That is why Ukraine will not trade its people, its land or its future. We are not asking for favors, we are demanding justice. Where are the sanctions? How many deadlines have already been announced and missed while Putin continues his terror? Every postponed decision, every delayed package of restrictions cost Ukrainian lives. Sanctions must not be theater, they must be action, swift, sharp and uncompromising. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky noted that the Ukrainian armed forces are currently achieving successes in the Donetsk and Sumy regions and stressed, "We will defend Ukraine effectively, guarantee security, and our people will always be grateful to President Trump, to everyone in America, and to each partner for their support and invaluable assistance."
Russia must end this war, which it itself started. I hope that our joint strength with America and our European friends will force Russia into real peace.
Rescue workers have recovered another body from under the rubble of a building in Kharkiv damaged by Russian forces, bringing the death toll from this strike to 5. Reported by Kharkiv Mayor Igor Terehov, Alexei Nyugubov, head of Kharkiv Region Military Administration and State Emergency Service of Ukraine.
Another body has just been found under the rubble of a building, killed at dawn by an enemy drone. This brings the death toll to 4, including one child.
While rescue workers in Kharkiv today pulled the lifeless body of a child from the rubble, the world remembers that just days ago, Vladimir Putin, the very man who ordered this terror, was walking the red carpet in the United States, greeted with handshakes and smiles. What message does this send? That a terrorist can bomb Ukrainian cities at dawn and still be celebrated as a guest of honor abroad? Let's see the moment of the strike in Kharkiv. Every drone strike, every child buried under ruins is not just a crime against Ukraine, it is a crime against humanity. And yet, instead of isolation, the Kremlin's butcher was granted legitimacy. History will ask who stood with the victims and who bowed to the murderer. Nyugubov said that the 4th fatality was a 16-year-old boy. Later, Terehov reported that the death toll in Kharkiv had risen to 5. He added that another 18 people had been injured.
5 people are currently considered missing as a result of the enemy attack on the industrial need district of Kharkiv. Early reports indicate that they may be trapped under the rubble.
The State Emergency Service added that 6 children were among those injured. 2 people have been rescued. Search and rescue operations are ongoing. Every single day, Ukraine wakes up to pain. The pain of mothers who bury their children. The pain of fathers who dig through rubble with bare hands, hoping to find a heartbeat. The pain of cities scarred by fire, of schools and hospitals reduced to ashes. This is not an occasional tragedy. It is a daily reality, a relentless wound that never closes. Ukraine does not know peace in the morning or silence at night. It only knows the cruel rhythm of sirens, explosions, and grief. This is the weight we carry every day, every hour. Putin must be held accountable. The world cannot stay silent while a terrorist kills children in their sleep and turns cities into graveyards. Every hour of silence is complicity. Justice delayed is justice denied, and Ukraine bleeds while the Kremlin's butcher walks free. The time for hesitation is over. The world must act. Occupiers hung Russian and American flags on their armored vehicle and are heading to storm positions of armed forces of Ukraine. A video has been published online showing an armored vehicle of the occupiers flying the flags of Russia and the United States rushing towards Ukrainian positions in the Zaporizhia direction. Stop! This is absurd on a scale that's hard to even comprehend. Russia is waging war against NATO, against the United States, yet here we see armored vehicles flying both Russian and American flags as they advance towards Ukrainian positions. What kind of twisted logic is this? What kind of historical schizophrenia allows an aggressor who openly threatens Washington with missiles to parade the stars and stripes alongside its own banner of conquest? This is not just irony. It's a grotesque symbol of the moral and strategic chaos Russia is creating. Meanwhile, Ukraine faces the very real consequences of this aggression, resisting an onslaught that ignores every norm, every rule, every shred of decency. Civilians are being targeted, cities bombed, lives destroyed, and yet the aggressor dares to drape itself in the flag of the very nation it has threatened. It is a perverse mockery of diplomacy, a psychological game meant to confuse, intimidate, and distort reality. The message is clear. Russia feels untouchable, emboldened by global indecision and the absurd theater of mixed symbols. But the truth is unmistakable. Ukraine is defending not just its soil, but the integrity of international law, the meaning of sovereignty, and the very principle. According to Censor.net, Ukrainian soldiers tried to destroy the enemy vehicle, probably with the help of a drone. At the 25th second of the video, an explosion can be seen on board the armored vehicle. It survived, but the flags on it are no longer visible. Russians with the American flag are storming the position of the Ukrainian armed forces in the Zaporizhia direction. The commentary to the video reads: Today, a meeting will take place at the White House between US President Donald Trump and Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky. Since the US leader intends to achieve a swift peace agreement, he is expected to pressure Ukraine, reports Bloomberg. According to Bloomberg, Trump will meet with Zelensky and several European leaders to discuss the terms of potential peace agreement. This refers to the agreement he discussed with Kremlin dictator Vladimir Putin on Friday in Alaska. A source said that while the US will focus on the territorial concessions demanded by Russia, Kyiv will aim to secure possible security guarantees. President Trump must not pressure Ukraine into concessions. Why is the victim asked to surrender while the aggressor is spared the demands? Why does the pressure fall on Kyiv, not on Moscow, the very hand that continues to bomb civilians and murder children? Any so-called peace built on Ukrainians' sacrifice is not peace, it is surrender to terror. Real leadership means standing up to the aggressor, not pushing. According to other sources, Trump told leaders during a weekend phone call that he is open to US participation in providing security guarantees for Ukraine. He also told allies that he wants to reach an agreement quickly and will urge Ukraine to agree to arrange a Zelensky-Putin meeting within the week. Many Europeans, Bloomberg reports, consider this shadow aggressive given how many issues remain unresolved. Sources also say that Trump revealed fragments of his talks with Putin during discussions with allied leaders, though without providing specific details. Polish Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski stressed during a Coalition of the Willing video conference on the 17th of August that pressure must be directed at the aggressor, not the victim of aggression, reported by Polish radio station RMF24. The video conference, chaired by European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, brought together European leaders, prime ministers and presidents to discuss the next steps in peace negotiations on the war in Ukraine. Poland was represented by Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski.
The meeting of the Western Coalition of the Willing for Ukraine has concluded ahead of tomorrow's talks in Washington. I stressed that for peace to be achieved, pressure must be applied to the aggressor, not the victim of aggression.
Spokesperson for the Polish Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Paweł Wronski, reported that the important part of the meeting was that all the leaders, 33 countries in total, including distant partners like Japan and New Zealand, expressed their support for all peace initiatives and agreed with President Trump's call that we must stop the killing. He underlined that peace negotiations cannot take place under falling bombs.
Any form of ceasefire, stopping and refraining from firing, is, in the view of participants of the Coalition of the Willing, a condition for the start of any peace talks.
He added that there is a deep conviction among participants that the two sides must not be confused, and we must remember who the aggressor is and who is the victim of this aggression, and who must be supported first and foremost, and who must be pressured. Wronski stressed that Poland and other countries expect effective pressure to be exerted on the aggressor, namely Russia. That's all for today. Thanks for watching this video. Support Ukraine, like and subscribe.